promised land. Feel your heartbeat and don't be scared, 'cause I'll be there, yes I'll be there. You and I, we can fly anywhere you wanna go. Find a place we can hide, we can make it on our own. Go along for the ride, to the stars just follow. You and I, side by side, dancing in your halo.
Okay. What's up, YouTube? How are you doing? Price is dropping, and I thought it was a good idea to go live. So here we are. Good morning, or actually good afternoon, because in the Netherlands it's just past 12 p.m. a.m. p.m. whatever it is, a.m. at least noon, just past noon. So yeah, we're going live for about an hour. Do some Elliott waves and have a look at what the highest probability scenarios are based on the price action that we have over here. Right, so hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, for some maybe even. Stays in 2K, let's go 24K, listen a bit outside of work. At least, I mean, we have a little bit of a drop here. We're now below support resistance as well, which can now, of course, act as resistance. This low is important, and then we have support. But I'll go over the Elliott Wave scenarios for sure. Daniel, good morning. Albie, hello from Sydney. Holy moly, other side of the world. I think that's a good afternoon or good evening. I think maybe evening. Yeah, probably. Parames S, good morning. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. So let's jump into the content. And we're going to start with what's happening locally here. And basically some of the scenarios I shared in the morning update as well. Because one of these scenarios was a triangle over here, right? And I mentioned that in a potential A, B, C, D, E, and I mentioned that the triangle, wave A, this move down, doesn't look really pretty. I think I still got it in my probabilities, actually. Yeah, there we go. So if we look here at the probabilities, triangle, oh, here. Wave A of the triangle is questionable, which was this move over here, right? Questionable wave A. And if the triangle moves below the low of A over here, it's invalidated for then an A, B, C, D, and eventually E for continuation in that particular bullish scenario. So that one is now invalidated, meaning I got new ones. Yeah, we are, of course, now below support resistance, right? Not what you want to see if you are a bull. But let's go over the scenarios and also make my pointer here white. There we go. So remove the probabilities. And first, let's start on the 30-minute time frame with what we are having in front of us. What's up, Swagze? How you doing, man? How are you doing? The bearish scenario was a continuation to the downside over here. And none of these highs over here are really that great for the high of a wave 2, but we do have bearish CVD divergences building, as you can see over here on the 15-minute time frame. Lower high on price here, higher high on the CVDs, both of them. Price moving down. Eventually over here more locally, right? On this side, lower high on price, more higher highs on the CVD. So there's more and more absorption going on of market longs, giving that push to the short side below the support resistance over here, which has been acting as support for quite a while over here, as you can see, like 2 days, 3 days of support, and now we're below. So it's important for the bulls to get back above for continuation, right? But for now we are below. If we look at the bullish scenario, I think yes. So let's start with that one before we go into the bearish one as well. Swagza, doing good. How are you? And QZ World, what's up? How are you as well? I'm doing good. Thanks, guys. I'm doing very well. I've had a productive morning and looking to have a productive afternoon as well. And last month was also my best month of the year, really. Yeah, can't complain. But here we have a wave 1 to the upside. And in the bullish scenario, right, this is your wave 2 over here. So previously, in the previous video, we were potentially looking for then a W, X, and then a wave Y in a triangle. Now, as I just mentioned, invalidated, price took this low. Already mentioned in the probabilities of the morning video here, wave A of the triangle is questionable for the bulls, right? Because wave A of a triangle has to be a zigzag, which is a 3-wave structure. This looks more 5-ish, right? So that was the reason why I wrote this in the probabilities box there. Flotty, what's up? How you doing? Stefan, Jedi Knights, everyone coming in. There we go. There we go. Everyone popping in. Let me go through the analysis and then let's go into chatting, right? I'll be engaging with you. I'll be online for an hour, so we have enough time. Now wave A, wave 2, wave A, wave 1, wave 2, and then we're looking for 3 to the upside, right? In the bullish scenario. Now previously we were then looking for a W, X, triangle, and Y, triangle invalidated. So that also means that if we want to continue labeling this as a W, X, and then a Y to finish here, Y has to be a flat structure. But the problem with the flat is you have to take this high and then an A, B, and then a wave C. But you can see that now for a wave Y, it's getting quite long compared to a short W and then also a short X. If this is over here, your W, X, and then a wave Y. So that's not something that I am really looking for anymore because it has low probabilities, which means that for a wave 2, preferably, this is your low. And you start to understand why probabilities start to become low now as well, right? Because we move below the support resistance area here, but it's not invalidated. We're then looking for a double zigzag, W, X, Y, zigzag W, zigzag X, also common for X, and then another zigzag in a wave Y, and then a sharp corrective structure to the downside. So not a horizontal corrective structure, but actually a sharp move down, where this is then your wave 1 of a lower degree. And this is where these counts come in over here. Oh wait, let me recount this for a bit. So then this is your wave 1. You're going to be looking for 2 and then eventually for a move towards the upside in white. Let me actually put I don't do this often, but let's put the line on the chart so people really know what I'm then looking at, right? Voila. So in this particular scenario, right, you're then looking for a move towards the upside. Now, what is a bit of a thing here, which is not good, is that this wave 2 is incredibly long in time compared to this wave 1. Another thing is that this wave 1 here, right, is very short in time. It's almost like it's like a straight line to the upside, but it does not have any structure to the upside, right? There's no waves. Like over here to the downside, you can see structure. To the downside, you can see structure. This wave 1 is like an arrow. It's just like poof, and that's it, right? You don't have something like this, structure to the upside, or here, structure to the downside, right? So stuff like here, structure to the upside. That's not, we don't see that in this particular wave 1 over here, which is not great because now wave 2 is so incredibly long compared to wave 1 that it lowers the probabilities of this being a wave 2, which increases probabilities of it being something else, which then increases probabilities to go to the downside. Now, if we take a fib from the low to the high over here, and I put all of the things on, then you can now also see price hit the 886. And for the viewers on the channel that have been here for a while, you probably already know what I'm going to say. And some of you might actually want to write this in the chat. Let's do a little test. What happens, guys? What happens with the probabilities the moment an 886 is hit in an Elliott Wave scenario for a wave 2? What happens? What happens? You guys know. You're always watching the videos. I talk about this almost on a daily basis. What happens when we hit the 886? Exactly. Stays in 2K. Popping in. Up and down. Or down. Probabilities wise, that's absolutely correct. Because if this is your wave 1 to the upside now, and this is your wave 2, then the problem price is creating here is in a 1-2 continuation to the upside in a wave 3, the 886 is a rare target for a wave 2, and then a 1, 2, and then you want to see continuation. The 886 is rare. The common target, 05 to the 786, right? The invalidation is here, but CGT, you are almost correct. I mean, theoretically, if you base it on probabilities, you're almost correct, right? But the official invalidation is the low of 1. But once you hit the 886, probabilities really go down, right? For this to be a wave 2. Any move that comes or goes to the upside has a higher probability of being a wave C or a wave Y. Reason is 886 rare for 2, but the 886 is common for a wave B or a wave X. Move to the upside, higher probability C or Y, meaning eventually higher probability for a move to the downside to take this low at a bare minimum. The problem for the bulls with taking this low is that then the bullish scenario we have here is going to be a problem, because if this is your green 2, then it invalidates the bullish scenario, really increasing probabilities for further downside over here. So that is of course not something that they want to see, right? If you're looking for upside. So also the 886 touch is definitely not ideal for the bullish side. No? Now in a WXY scenario, if this is still or was still part of a wave Y, which is now lower probabilities, it can happen. You bounce on the 886 and then continue to the upside. It happened during the uptrend once here. Tend to remember these things because they don't happen very often. So over here, you had an 886 touch. The difference here was that we were then having a WXY, wave Y, ended at the 886 of your wave X to the upside, because it's WXY continuation, right? So it's not wave 1, 2 continuation. No, it was WXY continuation. Or, you know, some people like to call this an ABC, or running flat. But then the 886 is a target, right? That's fine for a wave Y, for a wave C and a running flat. The 886, yeah, it can be a target. But for a wave 2, if we're labeling a 1-2 continuation, that is when the 886 is a rare target. And if we then look at the scenario we have at the moment going on over here, then we are looking for this to then be a wave 1-2 continuation in a wave 3, which therefore lowers the probabilities you're going to get the same bounce as we had in the past, because we're now not looking for this to be the end of a wave Y or a wave C. And that is because the triangle got invalidated. Because if this is your wave 1 high, and I'll just shortly repeat so that I summarize it basically. If this is your high of a wave 1 over here, and you're looking at a bigger WXY, then we could have a zigzag, potentially a flat over here, and then a triangle, because wave Y is not allowed to be the same as a wave W. So wave Y cannot be a zigzag, it can either be a flat or a triangle, but a flat is invalidated. I mean, not invalid, it's very low probabilities. You're now doing this and then eventually go back up. So, you know, the triangle was interesting, but got invalidated because price moved below the low of then a wave A, B, C, D, E. And yeah, that's of course not what you want to see. And if you then try to recount this local range to make it bullish, well, one is WXY, but then this is the low of your wave 2, right? And there's not really any other great way to make your wave 2 finish over here. And I've been looking at it, but a wave 2, a wave W or a wave Y is not allowed to have an internal WXY complex structure. So if this is your zigzag in a W, right, you can't have zigzag like a WXY inside wave W, right? So zigzag, zigzag, zigzag in a WXY. Previously, I had zigzag, flat, and then potentially another flat or a triangle. But now, you know, that becomes lower probabilities as well. So basically what I'm saying, it's not looking too good for upside, also because we're now below the support resistance box over here. We have been ranging between these, of course, for actually quite a long time, acting perfectly like range trading in a nutshell, right? Like the support and the resistance box that I had very, very nicely respected indeed. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and eventually moving below, increasing probabilities. You go to the next level, which is down here, 34.3 to 34.5K. Let's see if something happens on CVD. Okay, well, not too much yet. The talking about CVD, by the way, the bullish CVDs that we had over here got invalidated. because of the bearish push now, taking this low. So we can remove this one. Now this bullish CVD here appeared for the first time with this low, then it got countered, right? More bearish CVDs building, price moving down. You still have this bearish or bullish CVD divergence, right? As the bearish CVDs have now played out, so these are now neutralized, one can say, right? But it's not really preferred that you know, it has lower probabilities. The best case scenario is you get a bullish CVD divergence and then it moves up and takes the high to play out. So bullish CVD moves up, takes the high, finished. If you then get bearish CVD, come down again, it lowers the probabilities a bit for you know, that bullish CVD. So something to keep in mind. We also still got, of course, the bigger bullish CVD over here, but this one already played out. This one didn't yet play out because the target is going to be this high. But more local CVDs for me is way more important than the higher or bigger CVDs, let's say, to higher time frame CVDs. Swakse you can do on Discord DMs. That works. If we then look at the let's see, what did I have over here? Oh yeah, 1 second, because now we got an additional move to the downside here. Then you have to have this, then you have to have this. This is very complex stuff, I can imagine. Yeah, also low probability. This was because I've been updating in the silver membership group, where, you know, the moment the triangle got invalidated, I immediately had 2 other potential bullish scenarios, and one of those is this, where you have then a wave 1, then you're going to be looking for an ABC, and inside wave B you then have a WXY, or actually it was correct, you have a W X and then looking for a flat in Y. But then you want a wave C to the downside, going below wave A, a flat B in a bigger, yeah, it's just a mess. Because you already touched the 886, wave C then also likely goes here. You now need an impulse up. So I'll keep it on the chart, but in this scenario you then have A, B, C, W, X, Y inside B, C to the downside, finish 2, move up. But you can see how big this wave 2 becomes compared to this tiny little like wave 1, right? So in general, probabilities for the upside are not looking too great. If we then look at the and also finally in this range here, it is very much about taking this high first or this low first, to make it very simple. Take this low first, probabilities increase, you go to lower prices. Of course, it goes in waves, right? It doesn't have to go in one straight line. Take this high first, probabilities increase, you're going to go for 36K. That's also another way of approaching what you're seeing over here. So we still got an eye on this one. I mean, the others haven't changed. That's compared to the morning video. This is that's the only stuff that really changed. So very shortly, potential ABC over here inside wave C. We are then looking for this to be a wave 1, 2, and en route for a wave 3 to the downside over here. Keeping an eye on CVD. So that is the goal. So you want this low to be taken first before taking this high in this scenario, and then you're going to be looking for wave C. Interesting about a move to the downside is bottoms, right? You have a double bottom there, you have a double bottom there, you got a couple of lows here as well. So there's so much liquidity to the downside as well, which is something we have to keep in mind. This one gets lower probabilities now with this move to the downside, honestly. So I don't really... Do I want to explain this now? I suppose I can for the purpose of education. Oh. But even if you get a move to the upside, yes, 36K is a target, but it doesn't mean continuation, because you can still become, or it can still be a bigger potential flat. A, B, C, inside wave B, W zigzag, X, and then potentially a Y. Wave Y can still even be a flat, finding support and then move up. So, but yeah, it's a bit way too early to call. So I don't want to confuse people too much. So I think it's quite clear what we're looking for locally, right? Take the low, higher probabilities for a move to the downside. Keep your eye on support, right? There is still support here. As long as it's support, it is support. And this is 34.3 to 34.5k. We are now below the support resistance that we have over here that held for a couple of days, right? Moving back above is very important for the bulls. Take this high first. I'll be looking for 36k. It's quite simple stuff, I suppose, in some way. The only thing I'm not too happy about with this move to the downside. Oh wait, where is it? Is the structure so far. Unless it's a multiple 1-2 like build up, but this can be your 1, this can be your 2, yeah. But this move to the downside here, this looks like a 3-wave structure, right? This move went up too high in a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is then a 3, likely another 3, maybe another 3, 3, maybe you get another 3. Like, could this be another diagonal structure, right? It's very rangy, a lot of overlap as well, which in some way looks corrective, but the 886 has been hit. So just because of that, probabilities are higher for a move down, but we continue to observe. You know? Take the low, take the high. Keep that in mind. Talking about daily naked point of control. We're not there yet. We're almost there. 34,450, 35,125. Both of these are interesting. I mean, if we talk about a potential double 1-2, right? 1-2, 1-2 continuation, that's definitely possible. Then you would move back towards the upside, look for some resistance, and then get the move down. But in general, take this low, higher probability down. Take this high, higher probability up. You still got some support here. You know, no financial advice, but shorting and support usually is not a great idea. Have a plan. And then on the medium time frame, also here, same stuff, right? This is the one I mention often, 886 retracement and a potential 1-2 continuation. Wave 2 went to the 886, even closed candles below the 886. Not great for the probabilities that this is a wave 2 and you go for a wave 3. Also, if this is a wave 3, it's an incredibly slow start for a wave 3, right? Look at this wave 1, look at the beginning of your wave 3, right? It's not great. So in general, even if price moves up with that regular flat scenario where you then have this, probabilities are in general higher to move to the downside. And take the lows before any significant move towards the upside, which is something I mentioned over here in the probabilities of this morning. This bit over here. Medium time frame, probabilities are bullish, right? So in general, and that is in general, because after the move down, you expect to move to the up. I should explain this carefully. After a move down, you then expect to move up. So if you zoom out to a 12-hour time frame, probabilities are highest. The high is not yet in, even if you move to the downside. But if you then zoom in over here, then the 886 touch for wave 2 gives higher probabilities to take the low over there, meaning you first take the lows before any significant move to the upside. So yeah, this is currently the status more locally, and yeah, let's keep our eyes on local price action, see what happens. But yeah, I guess the probabilities are quite clear, what you have to look for, quite clear as well. And if price moves to the downside, then we have another support here, 33.8, 33.9. Don't forget, double bottom here, double bottom here. We also have support resistance over here. Because first of all, you have this 1 hour order block, which has been touched once, on my chart twice, but other charts once. So you still got this one as well. And then finally, you also have this 1 hour gap, which can act as support. So pull a just like a square from the low on the 1 hour to the high, to the low of this red candle, and then pull it to the right. Important support resistance area for price in bullish environments. So yeah, that is basically it's basically the update about you know, mainly stuff locally changed, not on the higher time frames. The probabilities remain the same with the 886 touch and stuff. So yeah, a little bit of chatting. Masha Nice, hello to all. What's up, Masha? How you doing? Ways of the Jedi. Jedi, there he is. What's up, Anakin? Or maybe your favorite Jedi is another one, who knows? Stefan Salea, hope you're well. I'm quite new to your channel. Would you mind sharing your mindset around trading in these unclear wave regions? Absolutely. So Elliott waves can be incredibly confusing, and the less experience you have, the easier it is to be confused or read things wrong, and then you're going to be like, hey, why did it not play out, and all that stuff. So of course it comes with experience, but also the silvers will know, and also people on YouTube will know that sometimes I can also be confused, right? I don't really know what's going on, and we have to wait for price to show its hand, right? We got to be patient. So my mindset around trading in unclear wave regions is twofold. First of all, what many beginning Elliott wavers do, which I used to do in the past, is when things are not clear, they go to lower time frames, because then they try to make it, you know, clear on the 5 minute or even a 3 minute or a 1 minute, because they can't read it on the 15 or the 1 hour. They're like, wait, if I zoom in, then probably because I can see more detail, I can count the waves better, I get more clarity, and then a 5 minute and a 3 minute. And it only just sucks you deeper into the absolute like unclarity of things. And at the end, you spend a lot of time and you don't get any value out of it, right? The best thing to do is when things are not clear, you zoom out. That's number one. The second thing is that when waves are not clear and you have difficulty to come up with scenarios or a proper probability, right? For, hey, probabilities are higher for a move up, probabilities are higher for a move down based on your analysis, but sometimes you don't know, right? You're like, I'm not completely sure where the probabilities are and how to count the wave structure. The best thing to do then is wait. You just wait. Because just like with any strategy, if you trade Elliott waves, you want to trade the highest probability setups. And clearly, when you don't really have, like when you don't really know what's going on the chart and you have difficulty to count certain structures and difficulty to give probabilities to a move up or a move down, well, clearly the best thing to do at that moment is to just hang back and do nothing. And yes, you might miss a move, right? But that's a nice thing in trading. You don't have to catch all of the moves. You want to catch the high probability moves, which means that patience, discipline, no FOMO, right? No fear of missing out and all that stuff is very, very important. The mental game is very, very important. Diego, are you here? Diego is a buddy. He's in Discord as well. The Mental Game of Trading. Great book, by the way. Can recommend. I'm working on it all the time because, you know, eventually once your technical skills are very, like, I should say this differently. Once you have a strategy that works, then it's all about the mental game. So if you can trade Elliott waves or you use Elliott waves and it fits your personality, your risk management, everything around Elliott waves fits you as a person, it works for you, then it's about finding the best, highest probability setups. And when the waves are not clear, you just hang back and do something else. You go karting, you go hang out with friends outside, do some other work, you know, work on your 9 to 5, or you just wait, and then maybe the next day or a few days later you have a better read on what the market does, which, you know, will lead to a new setup. Are we still looking for a wave 4 on the higher time frame? That is absolutely possible, Swags. If we go to this over here and I got this one, right? And if we then also open the bullish scenario, let me remove this one here. Might be confusing because now let me actually make this yellow now up. might have that. So if price comes down once more, there are probabilities for this to be your wave 4. Because your wave 4 target is commonly, right, between the 05 and the 236. The 382 is very common in bull markets as well, sitting at 32.45k, right? Wave C area is inside the wave 4 area. Would be a nice and shallow retracement, which is common for a wave 4 as well. So if price does move to the downside, this is going to be an area of interest, especially because of this range over here can become this WXY long sideways complex structure, which is also common for a wave 4 if a wave 2 is more simple. So yeah, there is a potential you are then still in a higher time frame, higher degree wave 4, right? So which you see over here. Absolutely. But that is of course only if price moves down, because in the bullish scenario, of course, you know, for the bulls, you don't want to see that. What's up, Flotty? The moment I see emotes being absolutely spammed, I know who's there. I know who's there. It's always Flotty. Let me actually do this. Check the CVD. Green candle, CVD moving down here, which is an in candle, bullish CVD divergence. It's twitching. Stop doing that. Which means there's more selling than buying in this particular candle. But of course, the candle just opened. It's only there for 5 minutes now. So, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe it gets back above support resistance or not. But yeah, we retrace to the 886. All for the people that just joined, the analysis part was at the beginning. Santos Sainz, what's up? Another Dutchie here as well. How you doing? Trying to learn some Elliott waves as well. Had a good question in the comment section in, I think it was the 2 videos ago, the one of last night. Mark Dutch, what's up? How you doing? Mark starts to become a famous dude as well, because he's a moderator at Andy's, and he's always hopping in here as well. Stacen was correct with the answer. Waving. Maybe a band-aid. He knows. Wave 2 invalidated, kind of. Exactly. Danny Khan, hello, Kunz. It's my pleasure to be in your live content. Well, there you go. Danny Khan, welcome. Good to have you here. And you are now live on stream as well. You know. Mom, I'm on TV. When 5K subscribers? 5K. Where are we now? I don't know. I don't really read the numbers too much, because I don't really, you know, I focus on delivering quality content, and I rarely ever really look at the subscriber level. We are at 4,846, so like 154 left. Not bad. I don't know, that usually that's like maybe about like 10 days, or I guess on average. I have no idea, but thanks everyone for being here and subbing. Eric Lambo, when do alts moon? That's a good question. You know, if Bitcoin is moving to the downside, then of course probabilities increase for the alts usually to also move to the downside, at least by a bit. And then when Bitcoin goes back into a range, it gives alts the opportunity, of course, to then have a bit of a relief rally, or maybe move back towards the upside. But I'm not really familiar with alt seasons and that sort of stuff. I like alt season. I mean, alt season. It's you know, for me it all follows the waves. So it of course, if there's a bullish, high probability Elliott wave scenario on the alts, or a good setup, then yeah, that would be a potential moon for alts. But I'm not really involved too much in altcoins, as I trade Bitcoin myself. In Discord, however, the group, like in the group for sure. That earlier 886 was also a double bottom. Yes, that is true. This one here. Correct. Which also, again, lowers probabilities. This is a wave 2 for a wave 3 to the upside. Where can I... Oh, yeah, I told you just now. It did test the 200 EMA on the 1 hour and bounced 3. For the third time, each time it tested 200, it moved over 2%. It could be interesting. Of course, the more often you test support, the weaker it becomes. Like a standard rule, I suppose, right, in trading. So that's something we have to keep in mind at least. But yeah, I don't really know EMA, so it's interesting. You know, people have many different strategies and can use many different strategies. Any strategy can be profitable. Whatever you use, any strategy can be profitable as long as you have strict rules, good plan, and you know that's what you trade. So with EMAs, if that's your way of trading, you know, if you know it moved 2%, well, then probably around like each time it hits the 200 EMA, you probably trade it in that direction for a 2% move. Put your stop loss and everything into like whatever your plan says, and yeah, eventually you're gonna lose one, but hopefully you win first multiple times before you then lose because it breaks. Daily point of control provide a great short scalp retest after the initial move to the downside. Yes, point of controls in general are really, really good. I like you see me, of course, using these in videos as well, and they're often part of my target boxes. Here you can see many to the downside, not to the upside, because that's because I changed charts at a given moment. So I know my target boxes, but I don't have all the individual levels. And these are the daily naked point of controls, and then I also have the high time frame ones, and I do have more of these, as you can see here. So yeah, I really like checking and using these for sure. Buenos dias desde España, Broncas. Welcome, man. Welcome. How you doing? Always replying, always commenting on the videos as well. I share in your Discord Bitcoin TA. Is it the same but little change as your wave 2 complete before and mine later, and just started 3 in case of the bullish conditions? Wait. QZ World. Hi, QZ here. There you are. I see. So in a wave Y in yellow, you can't have an internal WXY in the yellow wave Y, right? That's not allowed officially. So I would label this then an ABC in wave Y, which therefore means your wave W has to be a flat. So that is why my W is one right here. Also, your W, your X is really big and your Y is really big, while your W is very small. So also time-wise, because Elliott Waves is not only price-related, also time-related, I would move W to the right. It's a good plan. It's a good scenario, the red one at least, right? The red one here. But I would move things around a little bit. And the interesting thing is, even though people might count Elliott Waves differently, right? Even though some people might not fully follow the rules exactly, or it can still lead to the good outcome, which at the same time can be dangerous because it might lead to, hey, I was right, this is correct, even though the rules might not be fully followed. So WXY, you're then looking for a sharp zigzag to the downside, of course, because W has to be a 3-wave structure and not a 5-waver. So you're then looking for A, B, C, and W, correction, A, B, C. But yeah, you can't have that in the yellow wave 1, right? Now in the bullish count here, you're then looking for a wave 1, that's possible, then a wave 2 and a move up. But yeah, I explained earlier that probabilities for this still being a wave 2 here now decrease because of the price action of this range. For the people that just joined, I explained why at the beginning in a bit more detail. But in a small little nutshell, where is it? Ah, yeah. Okay. So in a small little nutshell, just to repeat, well, first of all, I mean, we are now below support resistance, I mean, for starters. But here, wave 1 to the upside, we were looking for a potential triangle here as a final like scenario, because if your wave 1 finishes here, then in a WXY, WX and then a triangle Y is an idea, because if W is a zigzag, wave Y can only be a triangle or it can be a flat. Well, for a flat, you need to see this, which didn't happen. So that is why we went to the triangle and then a W, zigzag, X, flat, triangle, wave Y. But wave A was a little bit meh. And that is something I wrote in the morning video, right? Over here. I keep here. Wave A of the triangle is questionable for the bulls. So that lowered the probabilities. And now that price moved below this low, it invalidates a triangle. But a flat is very unlikely with the price action that we have and also the length in time of this structure compared to then your W or your X. Therefore, for the bullish scenario, it now changes to, instead of a potential green to here, and then a double zigzag WXY. And that means this is your wave 1, this is your 2, continuation up. Problem is now that this move here retraced to the 886 taken from the low to the high. The 886 is a rare target for 2, common target for a wave B or for a wave Y, which then means a potential move up has a higher probability of being a C or a Y. Wave 886 is a higher probability for B or X. Any move up, higher probability of C or Y if you get a move up, for then continuation to the downside. What is very common and something I do like to stress is after you hit the 886, it is incredibly common for price to retrace to the golden pocket. So and then the reaction here is always quite interesting. Like you usually for downside you start to see bearish CVD divergences around the golden pocket area, but it's very common for price once it hits the 886 to first move to the golden pocket here, which is also from the low to the high, and then it fails to the downside. So that it could be something you wanna look at. But of course, then this lowest probabilities that this is a 1-2 continuation. Also, if this is your wave 1, it's very short in time. Your wave 2 is very long in time. Sub-degree count of this wave 2 is quite complex. You could have an ABC, but then wave C is an expanding structure, which let me check here. Oh yeah, here. An expanding structure for wave C and then an ABC. Expanding structures are rare, never preferred. Therefore, you can only prefer this scenario the moment all of the other stuff is invalidated. And then the other potential scenario for the bulls makes wave 2 even longer, because now you have wave 1 up here. Let me open this big. So you have your wave 1. Then you're going to be looking for a very long A, B, and then a wave C. So in B, you then have WXY, but then this wave 2 is even going to be even longer in time. So basically, probabilities are higher for continuation to the downside and lower for the bullish Elliott Wave scenario. Hi, do you look at Ethereum micro time frame? Longed a bit bad at 1889. Well, I sometimes keep an eye on Ethereum. I don't really have, what do I have here? I don't even know why I have a box. Oh, order block. Okay, I see. It was a high time frame order block. But I mean, look, if Bitcoin has a bearish higher probability, it's quite natural for altcoins to follow. So, of course, there's no financial advice. 1889, which is up here, 18. It's somewhere up here. Of course, it's never fun to be in such a position. First of all, but yeah, there's no. Yeah, I have no count here, so I don't look. It's empty. So I like to keep an eye on it sometimes, but I don't really count ETH. So it's difficult for me to say. With do you get a bounce potentially? We took the low now, yes. So on top of the 786, Ethereum CVD. You got bearish CVD with this pivot here, so you want 1884 to be taken before, and which is almost close to entry. So which is 1884. That's up here. And you're now below the golden pocket, but support resistance also, by the way, with this over here now. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's of course never any advice I can give. So you know, and this is something I recommend for everyone, is you need to develop a plan, a strategy that you can just follow day in, day out. Same shit, different day, right? So you build a strategy based on tools, based on statistics, you know, tools you like to use, build statistics, put things together, create some rules. And then what you do, this is what we do in Diamond. Then you get your sheets, right? I like to use paper because I print my strategy, and then I just check the boxes. And my B plus setup, that's the minimum setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 boxes. Check all the boxes, entry, right? It's very simple. Same. I mean, of course, very simple, quote unquote, because trading is mentally very, very difficult once you get a strategy still. But yeah, develop a strategy with a stop loss, with a take profit, know your win rate, know your risk to reward ratio, and stick to the plan, which also means once stop loss is hit, it's hit. And we look towards the next one. Because there's this quote that says, if you're not good at taking small losses, then one day you will take the mother of all losses, or something like that, right? So yeah, it's all about now. It's all about your management now, I'm afraid. Ways of the Jedi. I find micro time frame, volume, and value area trading to be quite easy as long as you don't get greedy. Consistency is key if you want to walk the skies with the skywalkers. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. Micro time frame counting is very difficult. For me, micro is below 15, but even the 15-minute time frame can change quite quickly, and that's also, you know, multiple updates a day. I like to keep an eye on the 15-minute. So and you can still read Elliott waves in the 15, but once you go to 5 and 3 and 1, that's, you know, I don't really go there. Don't really tend to go that far down. But it can be used for trading, especially scalping. Absolutely. Volume, CVD on the lower time frames, which works very nicely indeed. I can't trade. It is going down. Potentially, yes. Avon Mouville, welcome. The Fish, what's up? For the people that just joined, the analysis part was at the beginning. We're now at the chatting section. Always like to chat with chat. Retest box and golden pocket seems to be good. You mean this? I mean, we tested the golden pocket once. 786 is inside the blue box. This is your next support. This now turns into resistance, which of course is important now. Is there any way to quantify the probabilities? Do you mean based on Elliott waves? Because if you base it on Elliott waves, then if you want to give hard numbers to probabilities, that is based on experience. So when I do the probability section at the end of my video, I will always only use like 3 things. I will say bull, bear, or neutral. And because I don't really like to say, 80-90 or 60-40, you know, or 70-30. And you also kind of, I suppose, know why, that the moment I say, it's like 90-10 for the bears, you know what everyone's going to do? That's going to watch the video. They're going to click the sell button. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm not responsible. There's no financial advice. But, you know, YouTube, you know, like sometimes it's the way it goes. And of course, not everyone, right? You can't say that really. But I like to say it's higher or lower for a move up or down and not give exact probabilities. Based on my feeling, I could give an estimation on probabilities because I get a good idea if it's like a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, or maybe even a 90-10. Yeah, I prefer to say neutral, bull, or bear so that people get an idea. And that's why nowadays I tend to write some stuff also in the probabilities boxes, like the one of this morning, which is this one here, right? I write down stuff per time frame a bit that also motivates the why, right? So on a medium time frame, a medium time frame, guys, is 12 hour, right? It's not 15 minute. You got to realize as well, right? Elliott waves many different time frames. On the medium time frame, meaning this time frame, probabilities are higher, even if you go down, to then continue to the upside. As it stands, that is the higher medium time frame probability, but more locally here, right? 886 has been touched, higher probability for a move to the downside. Low time frame, I said at the moment of recording the video this morning, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really too sure, because price was very much in the middle. We had a potential triangle, didn't look too great, right? Which I write here as well. So I tend to write down some stuff at the end of my updates. So first I go through the scenarios in the updates. I explain I explain the scenario, I explain the probabilities. Why is this more probable? Why is this less probable? And then at the end, it's like almost like a summary. But I think what is important is that people understand why a scenario has a higher or lower probability compared to another one, which is basically explaining the scenarios, and also gives educational value to people that want to learn Elliott waves, but they also get an understanding, which for me is important. Watty, what's up? How you doing? How many tests you consider is okay for a reasonable estimation of a given strategy? Once you if you track tools, or once you put tools together and you build a strategy, then what did I say once in a live stream? Another one. I think I said 25 is a minimum, 50 is nice, 100 is the best. So if you backtest the VWAP and you have a statement that says if the VWAP is hit, then it bounces 2%. And then you're just going to track statistics, right? And then it's yes, no. And then you just track statistics. And once you've had 100 bounces on the VWAP, and you can, of course, backtest, forward test. Once you have 100, then you get a good read of, hey, what's the thing? 25 minimum, 50 is nice, 100 is nicer. Card Crypto, what's up? How you doing? Rune ruined me. I was in a short cap DCA. Any possible pullback on Rune? I mean, I never really go into altcoins. So look, you know why? Wait, this is important. You know where the question comes from? The question comes from emotion and from not having a plan. And that is of course the first problem. First of all, Nahib Nohat, right? I feel with you because I have been there, where you're in a loss, right? Big losing positions, losing a lot of money, or you're just in a loss. They always say, as long as you don't sell, you don't lose money. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the thing I just explained with having a plan, having a strategy, having a stop loss, that is important. Know when your plan is invalidated. Accept the L, like I think the fish said as well. Take the loss. Wait. No financial advice. This is just in general that if you have a plan, then you know your stop loss. If you have a plan and a strategy, you know your stop loss, which is the invalidation of your plan. The moment it hits, and you're out. You're not going to move the stop loss because you get fearful or scared or because you're going to lose money. It's the way it is, right? No strategy is 100% win rate. But of course, a question here is based on emotion, which is understandable. So I'll have a quick look. But again, there's no financial advice. I don't know what Rune is going to do, right? No one knows what Rune is going to do. All I know is that if Bitcoin is going to go down, then and this is just general market knowledge, of course. If Bitcoin tends to go down, then usually others go down as well for at least a bit of a at least a little bit, usually, most commonly. But yeah, I don't trade Rune. Rune, was it? Rune? Yeah. This is the thing with Elliott waves. You just need a lot of time to properly count Elliott waves. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, potential 5. So, yeah, is there any chance of a pullback? Oh, I don't know. There's always a probability. It doesn't look like a wave B. And then potentially ABC, because it kind of missed out on the most common target for B. How's the volume doing? High volume, looks more impulsive. Yeah, you gotta manage it well. At the moment, it looks more impulsive. Oh, and Bitcoin is going as well. So, yeah. Can we copy trade you? Not at the moment. It's also like trading for yourself is trading for others is a whole next level. Like in what the thing in Diamond is, people learn my strategy and they implement it themselves, and that is incredible to see how people implement it. Also in all the alts. The only reason I got an alt channel in Diamond is because people were trading my strat on alts with great success. So I was like, well, they wanted an alt channel, there you go. But I only use it on Bitcoin, really. You know, I don't want to be like, if I press the button, I press it for 100 other people, you know. I'm not in that I'm not in that like mindset yet. Which platform are you using? BingX. That's the platform I've been using for a long time now. Link in the description if you're interested. And if you're not interested, then you know, don't click the link. But yeah, I have of course an affiliate link, because I only support like platforms that I work with myself. Also in my teaching, I only teach stuff that I've used and use myself. So yeah, I use BingX myself. We got 2 campaigns running. Links are also in the description. And yeah, it's great. I've been using it for a long time. So, you know, and that is the reality. But I'm not really, I rarely ever, if I don't get this question, I don't usually even mention it. I'm not too salesy. You know what I mean? People know. They can see it. If they're interested, they click. If they don't, if they want to support the channel, become an affiliate. If they trade or want to trade there, try it out. You know, I respect it. You know, all support is very, very welcome. If people don't want to support the channel, it's all, you know, and they just Google themselves. It's also fine. But yeah, I do have a link. I just lost about 80% of my budget for not accepting the loss and holding it way beyond where I should have stopped. I was basically gambling, taking it seriously, and it seems the right channel. Thanks, Stefan, for saying the right channel. Of course, sorry for the loss. That's a big hit. Trading responsibly, right? Like, and this. Wait, let me go into another topic. If you have, so of course everyone has a different size account, but most commonly, when someone has a low account size, they tend to risk more percentage, because if you have $100 or $1,000 and you trade, but you see online people making 100K, 50K, driving Lambos and all that stuff, which I recommend to just turn off. You know, fuck the moon boys and all that stuff. Stay with the realistic guys. But you know, and you're there with your $100 account, and you get like, oh shit, I got 125x leverage my $100 account, and then hope I make like 1% so that I double it to 200. You know, you're not gonna live from $100. You know what I mean, or $1,000. You need a bigger account size. However, the fundamentals, building the strategy, building the patience, building the mental game, can be done with $100, because if you can trade with $100 or $1,000, then you can trade with 100K and a 200K and you know, it's only the numbers that change, but you got to build it up. You can't go from a $100 account to 100K and expect the same mindset, the same, because it's going to impact you. Of course, you have the prop firms as well, right? And if you are consistent with lower account sizes, good risk management, only 1% risk or 2% or whatever your thing is. I only risk 1% most of the time. That is when, if you learn the skill of trading, the account size comes, right? It will come. But even people with bigger account sizes, they lose a lot. I mean, YouTube is a great example. But yeah, this is never sorry to hear for you know, for the loss here, because it sucks, right? That's just reality. I've been there as well. I very much know about this, especially in my early days as well. My first trade was a big winner, and that's the worst you can have. If your first ever trade is a big winner, then you go into shit. So yeah. But like, most importantly is learn the lesson from the loss. Not accepting the loss, holding it way beyond where I should have stopped. That's good, right? That's what you want to, that's what I like to hear. You had the loss, which is shit, but the reflection is important. Writing down what happened, why did you hold, and you know, there's going to be some sort of emotion behind that as well. Where's your daily naked point? It's where your daily naked point of, it's the weekly naked point of control too. That's correct. They're at the same level. Top 5 books that helped you. Oh, I love this question. Mental Game of Trading. I think mental trading books, by far number 1. Trading in the Zone has nothing to this. Like, I have Trading in the Zone as well, but Market Wizards, great books as well for inspiration, right? So the Mental Game of Trading, mental book, Market Wizards, by far the great books. Like, for me, the most fun books and greatest books regarding inspiration, right? I actually gave a book to my brother last night, which is Essentialism, which is one of the greatest books I've read as well. Essentialism, which is this book, right? Then we have Psychology of Money, good book as well. I went through this in no time. And The Millionaire Fast Lane and Unscripted. I got Unscripted here. I don't know where I put The Millionaire Fast Lane, but also Unscripted here. This is my favorite author, MJ DeMarco. He also has a forum that is called the Fast Lane Forum, which is... wait, let me just do new page, and then you'll see it here, Fast Lane Forum. So he also has a forum with loads of stuff, all entrepreneurship. It's great. It's free as well if you want to. You know, I by the way, no, I'm not affiliated whatsoever. But you know, you will read many stories, and there's about everything. You can also look for trading stuff here and make your own things. So yeah, those are definitely my recommended books. On Bybit, the lowest low and the highest high. Oh, I see. Have to work some more. Thank you, Koen. Pleasure, man. Largo Caballero. That's a nice surname. Or if it is, I'm a new subscriber. Now never miss a show. Welcome, man. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here as well. Don't know if you know Ajax, but the detail, the complexity, and how you make it look so simple reminds me of Dennis Bergkamp. Yeah, I know Ajax. They're not doing very well at the moment. But yeah, Elliott Waves is very complex material, but I try to present it in such a way in my content that it hopefully becomes simple, quote unquote, by having very clean charts. So very clean, organized charts, folders for all of the scenarios, right, and different things with colors, color coding, because in videos, it's very important for me that a viewer understands what I'm talking about. And if I have multiple scenarios of different time frames on my chart at the same moment, it becomes very ugly. So, for example, if I put this on, then I have another count here, and then I put some of these on as well. Like, oh yeah, look, this is what you sometimes see as well, right? Oh yeah, price is now, wait, we're not there yet. Let's also put the low, here we have all of these. Oh yeah, so now price is inside this, wave 3 to the downside here, moving to this box. Oh no, wait, oh, this box, the blue box here, and then we have the green, and you know what I mean? So, yeah, I like very, very clean structured charts, but that's also how I work as a person myself. I tend to, be very structured. So you see that in the charts, but it's also a way of presenting the content, which hopefully helps for people to understand the scenarios better. Yeah. Jedi, wave 4 of the wave 3 down. Potentially, yeah. Wave 4 of the wave 3 down. Wave 3, oh, this is then your 3. Yeah, I think, probabilities are higher for a move down anyway at the moment. Failure to plan is planning to fail. That's a nice one. Good quote indeed. Santos, almost always on Bybit like they overstretch so you get liquidated. Yeah, Bybit is a bit wicky, right? Absolutely. We still got a wick to 23.6k. Wow, we'll never forget. Hey Quinn, I have no time to see the full stream today, but I will call you on this afternoon. But I will call you this afternoon to become acquainted. Heard some nice developments regarding your initiative last weekend in your stream. Wait, do I have an initiative? I forgot. You mean my other business? Oh, I forgot what I spoke about, but yeah, sure. Give me a call or send me a message. I forgot what I spoke about, but yeah, feel free to call me. Happy to have a chat. I also got some news, by the way, for you as well. The fish, Bitcoin going for 33.8. Yes, at least it's moving down, and then we take it level by level. But probabilities wise, it doesn't look good. Or it does look good if you're on the short side. I mean, I don't really care if it looks good or not. Bitcoin 100k or 10k, I trade day trading volatility. Yeah, I think that is more sensible, Jedi. What's up, Dessa Gaming? How you doing, man? Bro, the life is breaking up. I'm sorry if that happens, but I don't know. I think everything so far, excellent connection. I have no pack loss. So everything on my side so far seems to be working, though. My first trade seems way too easy. Then I got a wake-up call. Yup, same here. Same here. You're one of the most humble and honest analyzers. Thanks, man. Nahip Noab, my pleasure. I hope you're gonna do well in your current trade, first of all, but also take the lesson. If it's gonna be a loss, big loss, small loss, doesn't matter, but learn from the loss, right? That's most important. That is the way to improve, because we all paid college intuition, if you know what I mean. Not intuition, college tuition, I believe it is, right? Which basically means we've all had losses in the market, especially in the beginning, more losses, losing money. And that is almost like paying for your studies, if you know what I mean, right? Because you're learning at that moment. So if you pay for a loss, then make it a learning thing, because at least you got smarter, you got better, you got more disciplined, something. You got to learn something from that loss, right? What is essentialism about? Essentialism is all about focus, which I think is very important. Focus, having goals as well. But know what you're working towards, and then structure your life in such a way you focus on one thing, because they explain it very nicely. If you have a circle, wait, we're gonna do it's gonna be a first timer here. While price is moving beautifully to the downside, we are opening Paint. This is paint.net, by the way. So no, where's my, yes. I want a bigger stiff. There we go. Size, let's up it. Okay, yeah. So essentialism is basically, if you have a circle, which is you, then in life, right? Let's say work-wise, you, I can use myself as an example. So I was a professional esports player. No, wait. I was a professional esports player in the past, right? So there was some energy going into my esports career. But I was also a presenter on television. I was a medical student at the University of Amsterdam. I was a founding member of the Athletes Commission of the International Esports Federation, right? And what did I? Oh yeah, I worked with companies. I did consultancy in the past as well with companies. Vodafone, Kia, Spinning Records, Populous are some clients I worked with. Was there anything else? No, I think that was maybe kind of it. The problem is, right? And that's something I always in December do nowadays. Is the problem is you're diverting your focus and energy over many different. Oh wait, Parents of Play. It's another company that I work on. I wrote a book. I mean, it's a Dutch book, but I wrote a book as well. My Gaming Child, for parents with gaming children. Like the esports industry, I've been in for 17 years. That's my background, really. So wrote a book with someone else as well. And you see, like your energy goes into many different directions. And some of these will have similarities. So the educational business I have is related to the book. So that's okay. So you could make this one line, but then it becomes bigger, right? And this is what essentialism is about. Essentialism is about making choices and doing things into one direction, because you can have on the one side many small things you do, put energy in, a little bit of energy here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And then essentialism says, yeah, but if you can make some choices, and those are difficult sometimes, right? But if you can put that energy into one thing, you're going to get there. You're going to get a lot further by focusing on one thing than trying to keep things up and running, like 3 things at the same time. As we speak, MX Nick, by the way, if you're still, as we speak, like every year I encounter a situation where I have to make choices. And usually in December, at the end of the year, I reflect on the year, I make some choices for next year. Currently, I have YouTube. I didn't know YouTube was going to be a thing, right? Like at the beginning of this year, it wasn't even in my plan. I have a 1-year plan, 5-year, 10-year plan. I didn't even have YouTube in there. It just somehow, trading was in there, but out of trading came YouTube, and now here we are. So, I have YouTube, but I also have, so on 2 sides, you got YouTube, and I got my educational business as well, which also involves speaking. I'm also a speaker. So now I notice like I'm getting pulled into 2 directions. Can I combine it? Yeah, but I'm not sure how, if I need to make a choice. So I'm now in like a stage of like, do I need to make a choice or not? Or can I combine it? How will I combine it? How do I manage it? So I'm actually planning to have a meeting with a business coach, just to have a chat with people that, and maybe MX Nick, if you call me or send me a message, we can have a chat as well, because I'm happy to chat. But yeah, again, it's like, you gotta make, and essentialism is about focus, because if you focus, you will get a lot further than if you do small, like not necessarily small things, but if you do a lot of different things that you enjoy, you like it, oh, that's great, but you won't get as far. It's going to be small little stripes all the time, right? That is what essentialism is about. It's about focus. Okay, interesting. Can always chat. Weekly BTC USD turned on Fibonacci 618. I think it's going to go down. I think it was. Probabilities are currently to the downside. We now got a double bottom here. Of course, we are close to support, but yeah, probabilities, if you take the low here, probabilities do increase for eventually these lows. Everything goes in waves, but hey, there's a new update coming tonight at 7 p.m. Central European time, and we'll see where price is at that moment in time, right? So because I also got to move again. Yeah. If I look at my plan that I have, so I have like a schedule, that I always make in the morning for the whole day. So I did plan to go live, or at least make a video, but I decided to go live. And now let's see, on the plan is have some lunch, of course, and then buy the groomsmen suits. Did that yesterday with my brothers, figure out some groomsmen suits. Gotta buy them, test them. And then it's about doing some stuff for the diamond membership. Still gotta finish some things or work on some things. I gotta finish a summary of the book. I'm writing a summary of The Mental Game of Trading, which is also in my plan. So that is something that I still have to do as well between 5 and 6 p.m. From 6 to 7, I'm working on YouTube. At 7 p.m., between 7 and 8, I don't know, probably it's going to be gym with my fiance. And then 8 p.m., it's going to be like, you know, we have dinner and then chill. And then at around 10, it's going to be bedtime. So, yeah, structured. Always having a plan. So, yeah. He who reaches too far squeezes little. He who reaches too far squeezes little. He who reaches too far. Wait, am I? Is this is also about focus, I suppose. He who reaches too far squeezes little. Oh yeah, essentialism is also about, I think, living in the now, like what you can do now, right? Everyone wants to be there, and yeah, it's good to have goals, but what can you do to put yourself into that direction? Many people talk about luck, right? Oh, you're so lucky you met that person. You're so lucky you, I don't know, have a YouTube channel. Or, you're so lucky to have a nice house or car. But luck is very often, of course, life happens, but luck is also very often a result of making choices. And the choices build up over time, giving you higher probabilities, because in the end it's all about probabilities, give you higher probabilities of ending up at a position that you planned for, because you know you got that goal. So yeah. Now as mentioned, price now on the 886 over here. Typical for price to move to the golden pocket, which I think is over here. Once it hits the 886, we don't know if it's going to reach or not. We now got a double bottom here as well. Support just below. Probabilities mentioned at the beginning of the video, so make sure to check out the analysis at the beginning of the video. Let's check if there's anything happening on CVD. Don't really think so. No, nothing up here. So yeah, we patiently wait and take it step by step. Let's see if we're gonna take this low, yes or no. So yeah, analysis at the beginning of the content, and keep an eye on these two. The daily naked point of controls can always be interesting for support or resistance, right? If price moves above here before taking this low, probabilities, you know, could increase to go to 36k, but we already hit the 886 here, really increasing probabilities to move to the downside, either directly or with a bounce. So anyway, analysis part was at the beginning of the video. So for everyone joining now, make sure to check that out, because I gotta move. Next to the importance of some focus, there's value in multidisciplinarism as well. Yeah, it's always good to do multiple things, but have a strong focus in something, right? Like for example, I did the obstacle run, the toughest marathon in the world. Got a medal, but I'm not sure if you can actually read it. So can you read this? Let's see. 42 kilometers, 100 plus obstacles. I bought a friend of mine shared like Strong Viking, the link, in January this year. He was like, yo, anyone wants to join? He didn't say a distance. I was like, I will join. And before he even had a chance to reply, I bought a ticket for 42 kilometers, 100 plus obstacles. And it's just another, like, a strong goal, like a strong focus. And then for half a year, he bailed out. He didn't participate. I was the only one. He was standing there at the finish, though, to support me. But for half a year, I focused on training myself to participate and finish that run, because I had to run it in 7.5 hours. So I had 7.5 hours to finish that race max. Which, you know, it sounds a lot, but 42 kilometers, 100 plus obstacles, water obstacles, you know, lifting, all that stuff. but then your whole life changes. If you have a very good goal, like I went to the fitness, I went to the fitness a lot. I had very specific training for legs, for arms, for, I had a whole schedule, and I still go to the gym. The whole habit of going to the gym, and, I still have it. Even though I don't have a next event, I will have a next event next year probably. I like to have like one big thing a year. But like I always do sports, but I had a very clear sport goal. So the same in work, you can do some things and all nice, but also have a clear goal and then put your energy into that, right? It will get you a lot further. Ah, that is true. Now I get you. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we start talking and all philosophical and goal setting, and I love the topic, but for Elliott Waves, everyone, the beginning of the video, that is where we spoke about Elliott Waves. I recommended some books and stuff as well in the content today, so make sure to check it out. People know where you know if you watch the beginning, the probabilities, what to look out for with the target boxes that I have, taking the low or the high, and what it does with the probabilities at the moment. So yeah, we're going to see where we are at about 6-7 p.m. Central European time, because that is when I'm going to make the next video. Tomorrow we have news, so that's going to be quite interesting. See if anything happens tomorrow, which I think is tomorrow 3:15 p.m. Central European time. So maybe price is just going to range till 3:15 tomorrow. I mean, we don't know, right? We just wait it, take it step by step. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue with the day. Next update will be 7 p.m. Central European time. So I hope to see you then.